Yes, we're there again on another episode of Creative Always Be. Yeah, welcome to another episode of Creative Always Be. This episode is called Creative Always Be Directing Plays. Maya Wilkinson started as a multimedia artist, doing graphics, videography, directing music video, and now a writer for play. She lately she has been focusing on directing plays. One of her known play is Ice, highly entertaining and keep you laughing all the way. We are glad to have her on the show to understand how did she get into plays. Let's check out Ice to kind of get a sense of what she have been. Wagwan, 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 Maya.
Hello, I'm good. What's up?
How things are going.
Things are good, considering the state of the world in many terms.
Yes, I consider the state of the world.
Yeah,
Um,
breathing.
you know what I mean? I appreciate you coming on the show to give your insight, so to speak, as a creative. You know what I mean? Always appreciate when the creatives them come up on the show and kind of give for them 2 cents as to how they go about being a creative, and you know what I mean, them talent as the persons who are listening basically heard that you are a multimedia artist. You have whole heap of
Mhm.
stuff that they do. You're a graphic designer. You are a videographer. You're an editor. You are a director. You're rounded as it relates to a multimedia artist. The first thing that I always ask every creative that come on here is how did basically Maya got started as basically a multimedia artist? Where did that all happen and how it happened, so to speak?
Okay. Well, I've been doing art, I would say, to keep myself company since I was a little girl because I'm my only child. So I grew up with just me and my mother. So a lot of the time I spent sketching or writing stories, but a lot of the time I would do sketches. Eventually at school, I started to do people's science homework for money and, other little graphics. I used to paint on them school bag and things like that. And I sort of just transitioned into, or I kind of realized along the way that, this could be an actual career thing. I mean, so at first it started out as a part time thing, and then I realized that after self teaching myself graphic design for the most part, that it could work as a means of income.
Okay, so as I say, you as a youngster realize that you always have to do these things. It come natural to you if you basically
Mm.
do creative stuff. You know, I mean, I look at drawing here, I look at drawing there, and
Mhm.
because of that, you basically you basically go down the path of whereas as I say, you as a youngster, you basically do that. So they say, this is the path where me I go down, and you basically continue with that. Now,
Mhm.
what I want you to speak to is one, we know that graphic design and multimedia work is, so to speak, dominated by males. However, I must say, because I know that ladies see colors differently, I believe that ladies tend to be better graphic artists in terms of when it comes to colors and stuff like that. how them use colors. How you
Yeah.
feel about that? Because we always used to talk about that. How you feel about that?
I'm not sure if I can say like which gender is better, but I definitely can agree that there is a roundedness or when when with female design or when male and females collab. Because I guess there is an angle that the woman's eye might see. But I also think that um I don't know. I'm not even sure why it's so dominated by males because I do know quite a good number of female designers. Uh, I don't know, and I don't particularly think that all the girls are necessarily better. Hmm. I've never thought about this.
Mm. Well, it's
Yeah.
something that I always think about, you know what I mean? And when I look upon the girl designers, them I know and stuff like that, I must say,
Mm-hmm.
yo, especially when it comes down to colors and stuff like that, their work is always on par, and them just use color differently. Maybe it's my
Mm-hmm.
weakness, me basically. I say, yo, all man, basically is like that. But as a designer myself, um, me always I look upon other designers and I see, I mean, where them have the strength, and me and you
Mm-hmm.
basically had some form of what I call it now, interaction where we were both at a social media company, and we
Right.
kind of learn from each other, and I mean, show you something, you show me something, I stand up and watch what you do your thing and everything, so we learn from each other. um I wanted to talk about the industry, how you see the industry as creatives in Jamaica, and how it's working for the creatives, especially now that we have this madness going on. How do you view the industry, so to speak?
I think that well, the industry has a good way to go in terms of it being something that is stable and something that you can tell your parents say you're gonna do it and them not really question it. Because right now it's not it's kind of hard to find your footing, especially if you're gonna do this alone and do it on your own, freelance. Um, but I think that I feel like once we can change the way that, and I guess we have a responsibility as the artists to change the way people treat us, not allow certain things. We kind of have to set the standard of what it means to be in the industry of multimedia. Um, I think we have a long way to go, but I think we're getting there. And I think we have a lot of talent, like incredible amount of talent in Jamaica too, to be explored and for the industry itself to start to evolve on a whole, not just in terms of individual artists, but like the work we can do on a world scale, multimedia wise. I think we have a lot of potential.
I strongly believe that also, and more collaboration is something that I've
Yeah.
always spoke about, and I'm always speaking on, is that I believe that the more the creatives in Jamaica collaborate, even with
Hmm.
persons who are not in Jamaica, collaborate with Trinidadians, collaborate with Barbados, collaborate with anybody around the world, is the better, so to speak, the industry can get. I always speak to that with Jeremy, who is one of my friends, who is a motion graphic
Hmm.
artist. I'm like, yo, let's sit down, let's have a meeting, let's talk, let's work on a project together, let's do this, because when you do these things, it helps to bring up your levels, and they might learn
Yeah.
some stuff from you, even though you are not, so to speak, on their levels as a motion graphic artist. So collaboration
Hmm.
is very important. I want you to speak to that. Like, I realize that, especially like the plays and stuff like that, and even directing music videos and stuff like that you have done, it takes a lot of collaboration, a lot of persons coming together,
Hmm.
showcasing their own talent, and making this thing work in a such a way that it basically becomes something. So speak to that in terms of collaboration, and how you think we as Jamaican creatives can collaborate better and create better results.
Well, I learned, I think, also through being involved in theater, actually, that art in general is collaborative. I'm in a performing arts company where I'm the multimedia director. I write and direct as well, but I'm primarily the multimedia director for the company. And we are a mashup of music, dance, acting, all forms of art. And so just being a part of that space, and also understanding the responsibility we have to build the industry together, I realized that it's sort of a pairing of those two things, just art naturally being collaborative and the necessity for building that community, that we should kind of pay attention to how much we collaborate and how impactful that can be. So with Heist, for example, I mean, I'm in the multimedia world, so I have a lot of visual arts friends. So with Heist, it's set in a museum. So what I did was I used the people from my graphic design space to help with that stuff. And I featured also visual artists in the set design as well. So I think that the intention of the work we should do it should not just be to get the work itself out there, because of course that's the primary goal, but to also in the process influence and have other persons contribute to the magic of the art as well.
Okay, yeah, yeah, man. Like how you put it. That you try and involve as much persons from different aspects of basically creativeness, or different aspect of how they are creative to showcase their stuff inside of the play ice. Since we're on
Mhm,
the play ice, let's dig deeper into the play ice. I know that you write it, and you
mhm,
kind of direct the whole thing. And as I just spoke about, you have been in theater for a minute now as the multimedia director for Quilt. Yeah, right? Quilt?
mhm. Yeah.
Yes. Now, basically, you are in theater. So you already have that space. You already understand how that space work. And what did you do? Did you bring that over to ice, or is it the same theater persons doing ice?
Oh, you mean from the quilt?
Yes.
Okay, so Quilt is so it's a performing arts company that I'm in. So I'm sort of a member of it, and Rayan McLean is our director, and we do work with them. But Heist was actually my first piece of independent work, because I
Okay.
had done as a student at UE, I had done a few short plays for Talawa Festival, and then they were successful. So I thought, let me try to do an independent work with the support of Quilt, because a lot of Quilt members, I had a few in the cast, and then a lot of them were on the production team and helping out in different ways.
So, in other words, you being at Quilt and having that support helps
Yeah,
eyes to basically get to a certain level without you having to try to search for all of these
yeah,
people for basically put on when you already have that infrastructure, so to speak. You just basically use
yeah,
the tools that are around you.
yeah. So I
Um,
exist in a community, and I just, call the community together essentially. So it's not really mine; it's our project, I would
okay,
say.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. Um, why more want to dig deep in a quilt? As I say, a lot of people like quilt, you know what I mean? It's like quilt, and a lot of people like the work that come out of quilt. And
Mhm,
you as you say, ice is a independent project, but still
mhm.
quilt was a lot of the backing, if you understand what I mean. Like these
Of
people
course,
help you
yeah.
make sure say yo certain things all right, whatever them can help you with, them help you with.
Hmm.
Ice now, like, kind of give me a sense of how did you write this play, this comedic, um I would say this kind of give me an idea, because I don't think I can describe it like how you describe it. So just give me an idea, like the mind behind it. It's like almost like asking J.K. Rowling about Harry Potter. It's like you'd have to explain it, because it's really hard to get inside the person's mind. So explain eyes from a writer's standpoint.
Enough ganja, a joke. No. So what happens is a lot of the time I people watch and I observe a lot. And so I will sit sometimes, and I guess I could call it hair dialogue. A lot of my plays come from I kind of hear the voices of the characters in my head, and then I gradually piece a story together that way. Or, I might see something that it stimulates me to write about a certain topic, and then I'll eventually find the voices. So Heist kind of came to me like that. I heard these two idiots arguing with each other, and gradually a story kind of just developed in my head. And I grabbed my phone, I think it was either my phone or a paper, I can't remember. And I just wrote down the first few lines of what I kind of came up with. And then I thought about, who could they be? Where are they? Who has hired them? And I kind of just built the story around the two characters. So they came to me first. I knew what they looked like and sounded like. So one an idiot and one a more of an idiot. And then I just kind of, yeah, fell into place in my head. I
Where is
can't
it?
even fully explain it.
Where is it? It's two big idiot.
Two
You
big
know,
idiots, or
two
one
big
big
idiot.
idiot and one not so big
Okay,
idiot.
yeah. We kind of see where you are going in terms of size and stuff like that. Um, why did you do it in a comedic way? Because not all plays fall in a comedy. You know what I mean? A lot of the plays them fall in a comedy, but you know what I
Hmm.
mean? There's a story, whatever. Why did you do it with all of this comedy, with all of this drama, so to speak, behind it? What was the reason for that?
um, I for some reason I'm not even sure, but comedy has always been, I guess, the most healing place for me, whether watching it or watching stand up or just being with my friends. I've been the class clown. I went to Mobe High, all girls school, and I was the idiot. I was the Max and Tiggs of my friend circle, basically. Um, so I've just always been very interested and excited about laughter and making people laugh. So as I explored writing and theater growing up, I kind of tried it out and tested it out, and I really, really like it. Like, it's very rewarding to say or write something and have somebody laugh. Because laughter is, they say it massages your organs, so it's actually physically healthy for you. So it's very nice to make people laugh.
Yeah, yeah, man. Laughter is always good. Question: as a writer, have you
Mhm.
written on any of these shows that we have seen? You know what I mean? Like, other shows. Not really calling the name and stuff like that, but have you written on any of these shows as a writer? You know what I mean, and gotten credit for it? Cause sometimes you're a ghostwriter and about now and getting credit, but have you written on any of these shows where we know popular stuff? Have you
In
done that?
screen or stage, you mean? On stage?
Stage and screen, any one of them. Just kind of, explain if have
Well,
you written.
so far, most, if not all, of the work I've done is either independent or through quilts. I also do a lot of work with Michael Holgate from Ashe. He directs with the university players. So when I work with him, I do multimedia specifically. So I definitely contribute, maybe not my writing, but my multimedia skills to other local theater productions. So I've worked with like David Pollock, Michael Holgate, Philip Sherlock Center in general. But yeah, writing wise though, it's just been me or Quill so far.
And when you speak to your multimedia skill, can I give you a sense of what exactly you're doing for these persons? Is it graphic design? Is it videography? Is it
Okay.
motion? What are you doing exactly for them?
So the key, the key or my favorite part is digital set design, I guess you could call it, or effects, special effects. So I will enhance. If there is no set, I will create a set to a point, or I might enhance certain set pieces or create special effects, or just maybe add a film style to kind of lift the space, or just create whatever mood the director wants. Um, but I also create packages for shows. So I'll do theater flyers or posters, and other materials like, teaser videos for productions, and things like that. Yeah, stickers, T-shirts.
So, in other words, is almost like a 360. One somebody who have a production and them say, all right, then they want some digital content, so to speak.
Mhm.
You have the expertise and the talent to basically create almost like a 360 yo or design a flyer. We make sure say if
Mm-hmm.
you need special effects for background whatever, if you need a set we can design a set, all these things. One thing I noticed with your Maya, like this picture, this thing right there right in front of me. I know it's an important thing to you because you always showcase it. Talk about that, the Mona Lisas. Like why the Mona Lisas is so much something where you always are like, yo, the Mona Lisa, look, you see Mona Lisa around there, so why?
Yeah. Well, this I can't even remember why, but I chose this is what we used as the painting in Heist, the one that is, this on loan from Europe, and it is the one that is stolen and it's worth millions of dollars and whatever. So I obviously decided not to go with the real Mona Lisa, but the kind of um there are artists out there who make a living and who make statement art from existing pieces like the Mona Lisa. So I mean, people like Andy Warhol, I guess, and other artists use existing art to create more art. So I played on that. And also a further backstory to it is I wanted to show that so every other piece of art that's on stage for those who watch it is by a local Jamaican artist and it's awesome real work. But the one that is being stolen and the one that people want is a not so great piece that is from foreign. So it's kind of a statement about the fact that that's how we support. So we will support something foreign, even if a foolishness or a knockoff, before we really kind of praise our own. So it was such a little jab at that.
Yeah, that's not even
Yeah.
that's a big statement. It's a big statement. Like, um, when you put such a statement, I hope it not fly over what people heads that you try if you convey with that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because sometimes stuff like that, personal love too much, them not pay attention to what's really going on. But that's a big statement, and it's a true statement that Jamaicans, no matter the quality of what you're producing as a Jamaican, persons would be more interested in what's from foreign, regardless of the quality, even if it come from China. You know what I mean? It just if you have a look a symbol there, a Louis Vuitton, a Gucci looking thing, a man might think it's more valuable than what is made locally. So
Yeah.
that's a big statement as far as
And
stuff like that.
I also knew that everybody knows this face. Like for some reason, everybody know Mona Lisa, and we don't know any of our local pieces like that.
Yeah. I real
Yeah.
talk. Like it's something where as I say, like when I listen to is a big statement, a big statement. And I understand understand that as a Jamaican and as a person, a creative in the space. A lot of time as a creative persons wouldn't even respect your work, but they'll fly somebody
Hmm.
from America or wherever and they'll pay them thousands of US. But if you charge a thousands of US, we're doing a similar work, same work.
Ah,
You probably even do
yep.
even more work or even better work. They won't pay you the thousands of US because you live a Jamaica and you're local. So
Hmm.
it's a big statement and we know how that go. Um, what one of the next questions that we want to ask you is speak to Maya holistically as a creative. So we know you do a lot of stuff, but as a creative, a director, a videographer, a editor, a multimedia artist, speak to that holistically and why you developed your talent. Can you know so some people don't as graphic artists and them stay there so. And I'm a graphic
Hmm.
artist favor and you have some people them just the motion graphics and them stay there so. Why is it important to you to develop yourself in such a way that you consider yourself a multimedia artist, meaning that you can dabble in almost any one of the forms and can create stuff and see then how you're writing, which is the next form of
Hmm.
media. So kind of speak to that.
I think all of the areas of art that I'm exploring are things I did explore as a little girl or that connected with me in some way. Because even drama was something I did with JCDC. Most of us have an experience with them growing up, going to school, and we did the competitions in high school and things. I was actually drama club president at Mobile High and stuff too. So there was a presence of different areas of art in my life. I was in visual arts club too, naturally. Um, but I think that it's not that I made a decision to say, oh, I'm going to try everything. I just didn't create a limit for myself to say, oh, me can't do that because me I do this. So if I could find the time, and more importantly, if I had the urge or, just that feeling to express something in a new way, I'd explore it. Um, and it's not that I'm going to promise I'm going to do this one thing forever, or I might not try something else, but it's just, I think everything is worth exploring, especially as artists, because even if it just comes to understanding what other artists in our circle do, um, it's a good thing. But yeah, I just love to try things.
Well, as I'm saying, exploration is always important. If you're not learning, you're dead. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
learning something new, learning different aspects of being a multimedia artist, a creative, is always in my consideration a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good thing, because what happens is that when you enhance your skill, you actually become more valuable to yourself and possibly to persons who you're gonna work with. I think I was speaking to Nick Anglin, that is Newer Hall from New
Yeah.
York, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he spoke about this, and we kind of sometime of a, as Jamaicans, we want to do 500 things, so we want to be the jack of all trade. But what he
Mm-hmm.
was saying is that in America it doesn't work like that. You can be
Mm-hmm.
the jack of all trades, but you have to have one thing where you basically focus on and say, yo, this is what I am doing. And in America, that is how them want them people them to be. Even though they might explore other things, they want them to be focused on one thing, and you actually
That's
make
why
more money when you focus on
that's
one
why
thing,
America mash up.
when you focus on one thing as opposed to a lot. And the explanation that he gave me, which I consider
Mm-hmm.
valuable, is that it's not like hyper focusedness I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about
Mm-hmm.
getting a PhD in graphic design. No, I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that you have this one thing that is where you show the world, but you have the 500 other things where you not show the world. And them speak
Mm-hmm.
about that even in the business stuff that I've reading and stuff like that. So they're not saying don't be an explorative artist and stuff like that. But if you're a musician and you're good at being a musician, be a musician. But if you want to draw paintings and stuff like that, almost separate that from the musician aspect and be the best musician you are, if you understand what I mean. So
Mm-hmm.
you're showing the world one thing, so people know you for this, but you have other stuff where you do which you can use this one thing that persons know you for to carry
Mm-hmm.
to carry forth the other things that you do. Because as I say, sometimes as creatives we are what I call now, we're almost confusing, and persons are
Yeah.
calling us to do 500 things. So a man call around and say, oh, come take some photos for me. A man call around and say, oh,
Mm-hmm.
come take some video for me. A man call around and say, yo, do some
Mm-hmm.
design for me. But because you can do all of these things, you feel the need that you need to take on all of these things. But maybe if you say, yo,
Mm-hmm.
say a photography my thing there, and a photography I
Mm-hmm.
want to focus on, look pan for instance, like, even though he's not super focused, but look pan like Lexa Art. He's not super focused in one way, but people know
Right.
him for photos, but he's
Mm-hmm.
also basically a director. Him also the creative writing, 'cause you can see it now, him storytelling and stuff like that. So him do a whole heap of stuff, but people know him for photos. So what end up happening is that photos where people know him for, basically I make them and say, oh, so because him is a storyteller in him photos, it means that him can tell stories. So it means that
Yeah,
you
so
can
because it
involve with
means it's
him.
also a writer.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
he's also a writer, but we are talking about is the photos aspect him use for highlight
Mm-hmm.
himself, and then the writing aspect now comes along with that. If you understand what I mean. So is it is
Yeah.
it is it hard for you as a, and the reason why I'm going to almost long win with that is to build
Mm-hmm.
up for this question. Is it hard for you to almost focus on one thing, so to speak, to say, oh, alright then, you know, is plays me a focus on. It involves all of my talents that I have, but I want people to know me in Jamaica as 1%, in the 1% when it comes to plays and creative plays and different ideas.
Mm-hmm. Um, I would say that it's challenging, but I think I've sort of, I mean, you gradually figure it out once you understand that you have to come to a sort of a balance. So while I'm exploring, I'm also learning things about myself. So like with Lexon Arts, he could have realized that his writing skills would inform his photography, which is his quote unquote main thing. But if you allow yourself to explore things, not necessarily saying delve and open a new leg of your company to do it permanently, but if you explore it, you can find yourself improving the main thing. But for me, I I look at myself as sort of a web of things, and I don't even know necessarily what I would say my main thing is now, except for the fact that I believe that you, as in the person that you are and the message that you carry and things like that, is a driving force behind how people will perceive whatever you choose to put out. Whether I decide to go as a model or a photographer or as an actress, whatever I might pick up and decide to do. Um, but I also like for me, it's not that I tried things and stuck with all of them because I used to do photography and I used to shoot also. And I gradually kind of realized that yeah, I did want to try it and I explored it and I learned a lot. So now I can relate to a photographer that I'm working with in a better way. Or I can relate to someone who shoots. I know how, I know the jargon and I know the functions of the things, but I didn't find passion with it as much. So I kind of outgrew it and transitioned and stuck with the things that I nurtured and gave more attention to. So, I mean, balance, but I don't know if I believe in picking one thing all the time, especially not now where we're in a world where you can earn from so many different things and it's very beneficial to be multi-talented as an entrepreneur too when it comes to marketing. If I want to market my own play, it's I mean, I don't have to pay anybody to design the flyer. That's a lot of money I'm saving
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
know how
yeah, yeah,
expensive they are. A joke.
you mentioned something a while ago, and it's not that I forgot, but I
Hmm.
know that I never mentioned it in the intro and stuff like that. That you are a model, like a proper model, and you are
We're
were.
retired.
But when I look on your stuff, them and I mean like even you know do acting too. You know do acting too, right? Me like professionally, pan the acting scene locally or in plays and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, my introduction to theater itself, even back in high school days, was from being on stage. So even that, just like not being in behind the camera as much anymore, I kind of am now directing and writing a lot more than I am appearing on stage. So yeah, I used to act, do some modeling, done commercials and things like that. And not that I've stopped, but it's just that, I'm sort of giving attention and nurturing something that I see that's growing or that needs it's like a story inside of me that wants to be told and it wants to be told in this way. So I'm gonna honor that and if an acting opportunity come up, I might try it. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You were one of the persons who went to Trinidad, right? The other day when a lot of person.
Carrie Festa?
Yes.
Yeah, quilt. I went with quilt.
You went with quilt. Speak about those type of trip, whereas you get to showcase Jamaica, cause that what you guys were doing, right? Get to showcase Jamaica talent and Jamaica brand to the world, because I think the world was there in terms of people from all over the Caribbean, so to speak, and
Caribbean, yeah.
yeah, and stuff like that. Speak to stuff like that as a creative, and how you see it and how you value you know what I mean, that level of connection, because as it is, you went to UA, so you were connecting with
Mhm.
Caribbean natives from all over the Caribbean. So speak to that, like going to Trinidad, showcasing the talents from Jamaica, and how you see it in terms of how our talent operate versus their talent? Cause you know Jamaica things there already.
Um, Going to Trinidad was actually, I mean, of course, it's an honor to go and for Quilt to have been chosen, to represent Jamaica was great. So we went. It was a big group of us, from Quilt specifically. I can't remember how many from Jamaica, but one of the things that stood out about Trinidad was their theater spaces are a lot more advanced, and they have a lot more. So we have a handful of theaters, and they're not the most advanced where it comes to lighting and tech stuff in general. Philip Sherlock Center is my favorite local theater, so big demo. But so Trinidad has a lot more physical facilities for shows. But something that was expressed to us when we went there is that they don't actually have a lot of, or rather, they'd like to see more stuff, whether in terms of quality and range. And they were very impressed with us and with the other countries, of course. But they have a special love for Jamaica. Yeah. So
You know Jamaicans do the thing already at different levels.
yeah, for
Even when we
sure.
don't have the resources.
Mhm.
So I just speak to the resources in Jamaica, as it relate to you know what I mean, what we have here versus what them have there, and why I ask about Trinidad and kind of make you get into talking about the resources and stuff like that is Trinidad is Trinidad has a Trinidad have a control industry in terms of
Mhm.
their culture. So they have space. Like them have space. Remember when Carnival come around, you have
Mhm.
500 space where you can do Carnival parties.
Mhm.
So they already build that, so to speak,
Yeah.
to accommodate Carnival. And then when Carnival
Mhm.
now go on, it can accommodate other things. Now we as Jamaicans or even Jamaica no really have that. We don't have no festival where the world come to us and we have to accommodate them in the various spaces and stuff like that. So I believe that that's one of the reasons why Jamaica don't really have these space. Because think about it, if
Yeah.
Jamaica did a showcase Jamaica what I call now Jamaica talent overall. Me I talk about we have a reggae festival here and a man can go on this and watch the nicest plays them and a man can go on this and
Mhm.
him go and see the everything. Him just a go on Jamaica and him a see beer things happen. What would have happened is that the government would have invest in all of these things.
I think we're not exploring, as I was talking about with myself, we're not exploring all our talents. I think we have limited ourselves to believing that we have athletes and we have tourism, and those are two of the key ways. And I don't know if there's a wholesome belief that that this industry can be as great as those, because I believe it can, and I believe it can actually be that and marijuana, but we're not going to bring up that. But
Yeah.
you know there are other ways that we can explore creatively in general to to enhance everything about Jamaica, and I think we just have to open the minds up a little bit
Yeah,
to it.
a real talk. Like, when you think about the creative industry in Jamaica, like even I talk to other creatives on the same show here, and they're talking about when persons from other countries get exposed to them, and they're like, oh, so people there in Jamaica do this level of work. You know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
shocked because sometimes
Mhm.
even the level of work what we are do with the resources them what we have, they're like, whoa, you
Mhm.
know, say we are pay one man $15,000. We are do this and him not really even have them resources, yeah. And then as Jamaicans with the limited resources what we have to basically, as I call, be resilient. We come up with ways of make things work, and that is one of our strengths as far as me see it. You know what I mean? Anywhere we go around the world, people always look for me and I say, yo, all the Jamaicans them do it so. And then we not have all of these things. So imagine if you, Maya, did have all of the resources, all of these theater, all of these nice lights, all of these stuff where you want to do. Um, Imagine like what type of plays you would create. You have a place where you just go there and use it for free and just create.
Mhm.
Imagine that like it just basically it just explode what you can do as a creative and
Yeah.
as a writer and what you are a writer and you know what I mean, just that level. And that is one of the things when we look upon with Jamaica some of the time have an issue with it. Like, how do you see us moving forward and moving the creative industry forward in such a way that we get to these places in the next 20 to 50 years? How do you see that happening?
Boy, it's a tough question, but I think that we have to start to do a lot of the work ourselves, obviously. I think that I'll bring up Quilt again and Rayon McLean, the director and founder of it, as he has sort of created within the company a model for what a better future might look like. So he's working really hard to, even just within the quilt space, have youngsters who, kind of just leave high school or who are younger to kind of enter an industry that they can earn from. Because right now, for the most part, with acting, for example, is a side thing because there's no 9 to 5 or there's no continuous work, there. So there's a lot of, structuring that we have to do, maybe forming talent unions, just a lot of things that we'd have to do to kind of make it make a lot more sense. Um, but so while we create the art, I think we have to do some advocacy and some lobbying for some more support and just yeah, and just support within the community itself versus competition is very important again at this stage of building.
So what I'm hearing from you is that we need support.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? We need support as creatives, as you know what I mean? Talent. Cause they say yo acting is in Jamaica is a side job. You go your 9 to 5 and you also act. Like what? You do your
It's
nine to
very
five
rare.
and you also
There are a handful of people who just do acting in Jamaica,
think
but
about
but
that.
there's more than a handful of incredible actors.
Yeah.
So.
So when you look on them thing there, you don't say yo, and then even bigger than that, think about Jamaica going to the World Cup, and you still have footballer who have 9 to 5 and a footballer. Them now get paid well from football, from being a footballer. So them have to have a work regularly, and I believe that
Mhm.
one of the things that I realize Jamaica don't invest in most times, and even if they did get some money to invest in these things, is building out industries. We always do the party shop thing, you know what I mean? So nobody has say, yo, alright,
Mhm.
then let's create an industry out of this because as it relates to a lot of stuff in Jamaica, there's no industry. There's no industry, and if there's no industry, there's not gonna be any regulation. There's not gonna be any union. There's not gonna be nothing because there's no industry. You have the public sector, you have the private sector. Those are basically the two industries that we know. There's no yes, you have your one and two things as it relates to creatives. You have your the thing we keep a UA. Yes, I think you're a part of it. The meeting that they have.
After.
JAFTA. So you have these things,
Yeah.
but when they talk about like real support, it not exists. So if there's no support for the creatives, then it kind of hard. And you as a creative see that say yo, Quilt basically have to do it themselves. Basically, I would have said pull their money together,
Hmm.
right?
I,
To build whatever they want to build.
yeah. And I think the people with a lot of influence are key too in terms of support because, for example, it's very difficult to have something shown like for a local filmmaker at the local cinemas. I mean, I say the name, but it's ridiculously expensive and it's almost it don't make no sense. So if a young filmmaker were to do a little project and want to put it on, it's like where would they even show it? To that full theater, cinema effect. Yeah, so support from within. Support. I think the audience is there. They're there to be entertained. Um, and if we show them good projects and good work, they'll come. But I think support for each other with regards to competition, and then support from the powers, the corporates, and the people who own the spaces, um, opening up a bit and supporting.
So when I hear
Because
from
there's there's
you
benefits
Maya
in
is
it for
that
everybody.
yeah, when I hear from you is that maybe we need a lobby. So these theater spaces, these cinema spaces show at least one something out of the week. At least one of the shows them need to be one day. So for instance, them say yo, Wednesday is the day where them show local shows or show local made shows or something like that, just to
That would
bring that
be a dream.
energy,
That would be great.
just to bring that energy
Yeah.
so people can get to
That's,
see. Because I just say yo, you know what I mean, that's a big point you make a while ago when they say local shows don't show in the theater like
or on
other,
TV.
yeah,
So
even
yes,
that.
there are there. I'm not gonna say there aren't any. There are awesome local things out there, but I believe there can be more. And the foreign shows should not outweigh the local shows. That doesn't make any sense for a country like
Exactly.
this. There's
But again,
yeah,
you know it go. Is a thing about
money.
money. And again, as I spoke about with the
Yep.
pictures versus the Mona Lisa behind you, the people them like foreign things. If the people never have like foreign things, the people them would have basically make sure so the local things them are
Oh,
show.
definitely.
Um
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, and that is the reason why this show is so important to me, is that this show helped me to kind of get into the minds of various creatives in various spaces, to kind of get a sense and understand like what they are facing, what they are going through in their space, and how they would want to see various spaces develop. But generally, what I am hearing from the many creatives that I've spoke to is that we want the creative space to be better. We want to basically collaborate, but most importantly, we need support. We can try as much as we want to do it by ourselves, but
Mm-hmm.
without certain level of support, whether it be from the government, whether it be from the powers that be, whether it be from the corporate, whatever the case may be, if you're getting support, you can build an industry. Just like how Trinidad have a carnival industry, Jamaica should have a dancehall industry. We should have an industry. Look what we do with verse.
Mm.
Just look on verses. Look what we do with verse.
Just
Till
one
right
night.
now, the verses people them turn idiot. Them a try to change
Yep.
the whole thing. It don't make no sense. What them a do
Yeah.
now? It don't
They,
make no
them can't
sense.
keep up. Yeah.
Because them a realize say, if you want to get the authentic, basically two person a clash, them have to be in person, which is where originated to Jamaica. We have DJ basically
Mm-hmm.
a spit pan mic in front of them one and a clash.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we just show them, say yo, this is the level of talent in Jamaica. And my thing is, we as creatives have to bond together, and that is one of the things we advocate for, is that if all the creatives them come together and work together, we can only build industry. You know what I mean? Have an understanding of what pricing is, because that is one of the things where help to mash up the industry sometimes, is that me run
Yeah.
here, so have my level of talent, me I charge a certain money, and a man over there say him have a certain level of talent, and him a charge lower than where him supposed to charge. So because I charge lower than what I'm supposed to charge, it basically affect how the industry grew, and how the persons them who are gonna pay people see the industry. Because what am I gonna say? But them man around this do it for me for this, and you want this.
Why me I
So
gonna
why am I
pay
gonna
you
use you?
that? Yeah.
And yeah, I say, but
Yeah.
I don't really say it work, You're not paying me based on what next man have, You're paying me based on what me value my thing. So if a next man always I do it for $5 and me I do it for $25, use the next man, because me value my thing at $25. Him probably not have the experience, him probably not have the know-how, him not know say cost and price and value is two
Mm-hmm.
different things. Him thinks that them all weave into one, and it's the same thing. So me basically I deal with value, and him I deal with cost and price. So we can't the same boat. Me have to think about other things. Me have to think about profit. Me have to think about all of these things when me put my value together, as opposed to the cost of the thing or what the price is. So all of
Mm-hmm.
these things are very important in the industry, and these are the things where when me think about this program, me I try to talk to persons who can give some information that I believe will help another creative, a younger creative who is coming up, to understand, so that they don't necessarily make some of the mistakes that we made coming up in the industry, because you know the thing go already. We in the industry, we
Mhm.
have to learn our own. Sometimes we even
Mhm.
ask the persons them who are older than us, say how it go, and them make it seem like it's a trade secret. Me ask about business, when I ask about how you do your stuff. It's the business more I understand. It's not a trade secret. And when
Mhm.
people try and keep the business in the industry as trade secret, them not realize that them hurt the industry, because me I come in at whatever cost I believe I am worth at that time, and then me I mess up the industry. So how do you look at that as it relates to how you value yourself and people coming to you and client telling you about, oh, you know what I mean, them people that charge this and rate it. How do you combat that, so to speak, as a creative?
Um, me still a figure the part that out. Like right now with clients, if I'm gonna work with somebody who is obviously another entrepreneur or another creative, there's a different sort of consideration in how I charge. But that is kind of like the only space I'll do that in. Obviously, because I understand that we're from the same school, quote unquote. But like with corporates and whoever, I try to do two things. I try my very best to stand my ground, even if it means I turn down the job. But I also select work based on my connection to it. So it's not just the money that I will use to decide. Of course, a lot of the time, work is work, yes. But if I don't think that I can express whatever it is you need done in the best way, or I think that there is somebody who can do it better, I might, pass it off. I try to avoid, tense situations with giving people my work for less than it's worth. And also, I try not to just take work for money, because then I think I'm doing the same thing to the client, where I'm, you know, just because I know if we use Photoshop and I put the thing together doesn't necessarily mean I've given you the best work, if that makes sense. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I get you, man. I get you. What you're trying to say is that you the way how you view your work, it's not even about the money.
Hmm.
You put a certain energy and effort in your work, and you know what I mean. You look upon it in a way and say, yo, may I try to give you the best work possible. So I am not trying to take on work, so to speak, just for money. If you are more connected
Hmm.
to the project, you believe that you will do a better job. Yeah, man. Like when you reach a certain level in your career as a creative and these things, you sometimes can make the decision. When you just a start out, you try to knock everything, you know what I mean? Every door will come,
No,
you
you have
try
to do
and
everything.
yeah,
You have to do everything. Because like no, I'm not gonna necessarily take a job for, like, let's say something that goes against my morals, for example.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm not gonna just take that, or I'm not necessarily like a design a whole heap of things for like a church, because I am not part of a church, so I don't want to.
yeah,
You get me? It might feel empty, like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Why? I must say every creative see it different, and we
different.
we
Yeah.
kind of out we're kind of out of time. I'm looking at it and it's 54 minutes. You know, Instagram soon kick we off and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And you know the thing already, Instagram have a time limit, so we try for just work with the Instagram time limit. And it was a great conversation, and I mean I get to understand a little bit more about your process as a creative. You know what I mean, your journey as a director, as a multimedia artist, holistically. You know what I mean, with all of the various stuff that you have done, writing, directing. You know what I mean. Your graphics, your motion graphics, all of that. And I really appreciate you giving me a time and coming on the show to share the knowledge, because I say creative always be where creative share knowledge, basically, because that is what it's about. We sharing our information so a young creative or even an old creative, persons who are more experienced, learn from it, because you're never too old to learn, you know what I mean? So much respect, and as I say, I really appreciate you giving me a strength and coming out. Maya, is how you pronounce your last name? Wilkinson.
Yeah. Wilkinson.
Yes, Maya Wilkinson. And as I say, yo, like Maya, we know Maya from you know what I mean, social media company days. Maybe
Long
Maya
time.
is dead now. We basically look for work and kind of explore different things. So It was a joy to have you upon the show, my, and much respect. Maybe in the future we can do other shows together. Because if the next show I come over, we'll
Yeah.
probably link you about. So it's a
All
joy.
right.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on to the show. So we're gonna just run the intro and kind of anytime before Instagram kick we off.
All right. Thank
Whatever you're doing, whether it be the start, whether it be, you know what I mean, if it's love, whatever the case may be, do what you to be feel in your art to be right. Because regardless of what you do, people will criticize you. If you're doing good, if you're doing bad, whatever you do, people will criticize it just the same. So do what you feel in your art to be right, for you will be criticized anyway. Illinois Roosevelt. And that was another episode of Creative